So I want to use an illustration to explain how if you look at America like an artery, okay? Like just say this is an artery in your body. And obviously, when the artery is clear, it functions and flows freely, right? Okay? It's clear, it's healthy in our bodies, that's the way it is. Then, what happens over time, many times, if you're not taking care of yourself, not paying attention to your country, you get associations. And you get little associations, and it starts to create plaque. And it builds up, because there's so many. There's the nursing association, there's the hospital association. And over time, eventually, you will get so much plaque that you have an artery that clogged, okay? And obviously, an artery that clogged, it can't function the way it was initially meant to function, like our country. Our founders knew that too much government would always lead, would be a faster path to dictatorships and communism, which is why it was always about less government. Yet the way that wickedness gets around it is all of these little associations. There's so many. You always hear about them, and they are the plaque in the American system that keeps this from operating the way it should. So now if we go in and balloon it and clear out all this plaque, do an angioplasty on it, then you would have a freer flowing system. I know it's kind of generic, my idea, my drawing there, but does it make sense? Because it's not just at the federal level where a lot of the problems have occurred. It's actually more at the universities and education system and in the professions, all the major ones anyway. Dr. Hess, Dr. Robert Hess is a name to remember. He is the person in 1992 who coined the term shared governance. And he has written 3 books, and he titled them, he was co-authors on them, I should say, called Shared Governance, the 3rd edition, A Practical Approach to Transforming Interprofessional Healthcare. And this is what it says about that book. This book will help you change your culture for the better and begin a true method of shared governance. If previous attempts at shared governance have stalled or failed, the new edition provides helpful strategies on an effective model, but will help you change your culture. So they want to change the culture. Why aren't students going to the university and just learning what they're learning? There's no reason they should be getting involved in all this committee stuff. They're there for, unless they're there for 25 years like your higher education wants, but even faculty has said that a lot of the shared governance, it doesn't work. And it's what produces so many radical opinions. And then you get these students, they don't want to hear another viewpoint because they've already been indoctrinated by the new culture system of shared governance. When really, if you look at it, they were going to the university to learn their skills or their trade, whatever it is, and then begin their life, not go there and become radicalized. But this happens in the professions, the big ones too, like nursing. So the shared governance term with Magnet was always something that I thought, what is shared governance? What is this about? And really, the ultimate thing that should piss people off that are nurses is that really there's no accountability. They want you to have all the accountability, and the nurse leaderships and the CEO, of course, none fall on any of them. This model, too, came out of HR structures. And most people know human resources is never about the human, not the human that works for them. It's about the business model. So these are not things that are going to be good. It's why there is no good outcomes with Magnet. The best thing nurses can do is after they graduate and pass their boards, go into their job. And for many, this was a dream, and then you get there and find out, oh, they say I'm not good enough. They haven't seen me work, but I'm already not good enough because they're so racist. They only recognize letters after my name. That's racist. Think about it. It is. How is that any different than saying, oh, you're black or you're Hispanic or you're white, so we're going to need you to sign a contract that you have to get rid of your blackness or your Hispanicness or whiteness, and then we will see you as being part of our shared governance group. It's really the same thing. It's not taking into account the job the nurse themselves does, the positive outcomes they provide. It's just saying no. It's just being racist. Plus, Robert Hess is on the board colluding with, in 2011, with, because he's on the board of Nurse.com and Gannett Education, but colluded with AOL Health, WebMD, Medscape, and Secretary of Health and Human Services. It was on the White House website. So he has too much control, which is why his model has gone global. And it's a failed model. He's really just a miniature Nazi. That's all he is. Because think about it. If you only have one model you're following, then, and it doesn't really work, then it's kind of dictatorship, but on a smaller level. That's what we have. We have a lot of small little dictators. What we have is too many chiefs and not enough Indians, in my opinion. And when you do all of this, making nurse council meetings and all this stuff, then it's perfect for the nurse managers and leaderships to just push everything off on you. Now, nurse managers, of course, can delegate. Magnet must not have learned that in nursing school. When we ask somebody, even a charge nurse, ask somebody to do something, we're delegating that responsibility. Magnet makes it all this structured model. It doesn't need to be like this. Leave people alone. Because of their model, your magnet hospitals are the worst ones. They are. You will hear forever how they're the best because it'll say the data. No, really, if you can go to a hospital that's not magnet recognized, it'll be better. At the magnet hospitals, that's where they will keep the employees that are violent. The ones that don't go after the magnet status, and there's not very many that don't go after it, but the ones that don't or don't go after renewing it, getting redesignated for it, they end up having a better staff. They don't cut as much. They still cut, but not as much. It's really better. So everything you've been told about, at least if you're a nurse, about magnet, it's really the opposite. So Rick, look up Dr. Robert Hess, because his system is in China. It's in it's everywhere, and he's been on the board of American Nurses Credentialing Center. And their model, they have in different languages: Arabic, Chinese, Korean, French, German, French, I said that, Thai. So this is a global system, a global government. So they were designed to come into the universities, come into the major professions, to create people that will become activists for them, but ultimately, it was to get the globalization on board. I said before, if you don't take America down, you can't go into globalization. So what you do is, the way you can start to destroy the culture of America is you put in all these layers that, like I said, they clog up this clean artery where it's a beautiful country and you have the ability to pursue your dreams without having so many associations and red tape in your way that say they're about helping you. And really, they're just racist organizations that are really on an agenda of Nazi globalization.